hadn't been told, and it was a world that really gets exposure. So that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this film.
So why did you choose this subject matter?
Because I like football, and I'm African.
And that's it.
Well, I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. I mean, I'm from Ghana. I used to live in Ghana, and grew up there. And yeah, I mean, football is something that permeates every orifice of society.
I was young, but I had a lot of dreams. When I was with Salastete, I saw a couple of players, Derek Boatin, Michael Essien. They were young, like me, and they just left early for Europe. So I just thought to myself, I could do the same thing.
In Football Fables, we talk with Sule Muntari about his journey, and it's very apparent that, you know, he's worked hard to get where he is, and I think that not everyone sees the obstacles and the hard work that's gone into producing, you know, a European champion.
You mentioned some of the big African football stars, people like Essien, Drogba, Muntari. Do you feel that these guys have a kind of responsibility to the system in Africa?
It's hard to say. In Football Fables, you see people like Abedi Pele, who's retired now, but very much involved in an ambassadorial role with FIFA, and also, you know, in Ghana locally, he's part of the players' union, or the former professionals union, the ex-players who have a union, and they're very much looking after players' interests. So I mean, but he's retired, so he's got time to do all that stuff. Muntari's, you know, he's busy winning European Cups and excelling and becoming that icon. One thing you see in the film with Sule is that he's got a real sense of responsibility for young people generally, not just young people who want to be footballers. You know, he helps support a school out on the outskirts of Accra, and he contributes to that, and he goes down there. And you see it all in the film. He's very much involved in that.
I see that the future is in the hands of the academies, building development programs. We are blessed with abundant talent in our continent, not only in Ghana, but the development program and the funds are what is, you know, not there.
So what does the game mean to Africans then, and say particularly the young Africans who aspire to play in the professional game?
The kids who are aspiring to become professionals, they're being very much spurred on and encouraged by the success of a few players who are doing very well. I mean, you know, not everyone's a Drogba, not everyone's an Essien or a Muntari or an Eto'o.
But they never started like that either.
But that's the thing, they came from somewhere. They had journeys to go on before they made it to the big stage. I purposefully wanted to really just provide a glimpse into what's going on and leave it up to the audience to kind of decide what they felt about it.
I'm first choice. My first choice. So when you're club with say England, say of course it's a football. For me, I say football, but I say England, no bad football. Football. To me, ball football. It was hard. Carry on to say we didn't about 2 years, 3 years there. Maybe I'll be okay.
When I was watching the film, a word that really came to mind a lot of the time was exploitation. Would you say that's right? Would you say there's a lot of exploitation that goes on in the game in Africa?
Maybe. It depends on what you're comparing that to. I mean, relatively speaking, where you've got uniform practices and codified ways of doing things in the West, that doesn't necessarily always exist. So in the vacuum, in the absence of that, what happens is people are very versatile, and people are gonna, you know, create their own methods and means of making that sort of leap. Ultimately, it's all about money driving these middlemen, these agents. You know, they're all about the bottom line, and you know, the talent is very much commoditized. So it leads to a scenario where You know, everyone wants a scenario where this player is being feted and is doing well. But ultimately, you know, there are a lot of people who are not playing the long game and are looking to exploit, as you put it, without these middlemen who are facilitating deals and finding the talent, and dealing with players, local boys. The European clubs wouldn't have a route into tapping the wealth of talent that we've got.
If I tell you the amount of money that I've spent on Francis for him to be where he is, you'll be shocked. Because if I don't do that, he will end up nowhere. You have to. You have to spend a lot. You have to pay everybody. You know, this is Africa. So if I've got a player and then I want a coach to fill them, I have to pay. And even I don't mind even footing all those bills. It's not a problem at all.
Finally, the 2010 World Cup is coming to South Africa imminently. It's virtually upon us. What kind of legacy do you think it can leave for the continent?
It's the biggest sporting event in the world. I think bigger than the Olympics. I mean, it's on my radar anyway. And I think that the main thing it can contribute to is the perception of the continent. Because Africa's problem as a continent is one of perception. We're holding it at home on our continent, and it shows that Africans can stage events like this that have a global audience and have a high level of technical and logistical achievement. And it's just going to be a great party, especially if an African team does well. So I think it's going to really resonate around the world and show the continent in a good light.